got a pretty good idea, but I admit I've got hang-ups with money. I wish to God that, that Jesus Christ was ruling the world. There was no such thing as money, that we were all born unfathomably wealthy. It had nothing to do with money. It just had to do with freedom and security and God's will being established. We work together. We have a godly instinct to get things done as human beings. So I know for sure a system can work without money at all. So I am an idealist. I am an egalitarian. I'm not a xenophobe. I'm not a racist. I'm a really nice guy. I love the female of the species, and I want one, just one. I don't want to die alone. I could care less. I mean, I don't mind dying poor, but I do mind dying without a beloved, and that's what I want more than anything else. And I'm never going to be content. At least I know that's the one thing I got going for me as a single man, is that I have admitted, and everybody in the whole world knows, I will not be self-satisfied. I cannot be self-satisfied. I will not be happy. I will not be content until I have a beloved in my life. That's it. I've got to have someone to serve. I've got to have someone to love. I've got to have someone to snuggle. And I'm not going to violate any woman. I don't care how tempted I am. It's not going to happen. So I just want the world to know who I am, and it's who I choose to be. And just such a beautiful thing. I mean, all men came out of a woman. They're irresistible. They're just so beautiful. It is God's finest creation. And I'm just very grateful that God made women. And I just want one over and over. I want the same girl over and over and over. That's it, man. But I had started talking about my daughters, and their mother was remiss in their lives, and she's the one that missed out. But it was this if you look up this Stockholm syndrome, it had everything to do with that, and so I don't really hold that against her. She might think I do, and my daughters, I mean, they might not understand it until I mean, I don't know how much I'm sure I brought up Stockholm syndrome with them, but they got to understand this is serious. This is a scientific fact that psychologically women can get screwed up in the head, and they kind of cave to these abusive men, and it's about their own survival, or at least perceived. That's what they believe. So perception is reality for them, and it's not a good one. But no, I'm always going to love her because what she gave me, and but I understand why she just can't. Even if she wanted to come back to me, and she's tried, I think she really has. It's just, I just don't think that she believes it's possible that I could forgive her, and so that's where it stands. And there's no indication that's going to change. So I'm looking for a new beloved. But this whole death do you part thing. I mean, come on, that's not fair. God wouldn't pull that. In fact, it's written that you leave your wife or husband, you're causing basically the other person to commit adultery. And so yeah, I've struggled here and there. I mean, it's been a battle. Being a single man is no walk in the park. It's not a picnic. And you really got desires that only God can really understand. That it's tough. I get it. But I'm a big proponent of this why buy the cow if the milk is free sort of philosophy, and that applies to men too. Why buy the bull if the milk is free? And for men, it's even more acute. I mean, men are often. I mean, I'm making reference to prostitution in all its sundry forms: massage parlors, um, escort services, et cetera, right? Hookers. I mean, you drive down the street and you could probably pick up a girl for the right amount of money. You can get yourself laid, right? So we all know this stuff's going on. So here's men that not only are giving their milk away for free, right and left, but they're paying to give their milk away. I mean, at least women, they got the one up on men there. So they're a lot more mature by nature, I think. because it is kind of, I mean, their bodies are, these are the baby makers, for God's sake. They got the door of life. I mean, these are very special. God's finest creation, his crowning glory is the female. That's what I feel. That's what I believe. So, guys, you know what? But you want to be on a level with a level playing field with the gals, and you got to exercise some self-control. And you got to say, look, I want a commitment. So, this is the price, for the bull. That's the price they're talking about for the cow. You get a commitment. Yeah, it's called marriage. So, you know what? I mean, don't give them the milk unless they're going to let you buy the cow. Unless they're willing to buy the bull, whatever. However you want to look at it. But that's my opinion at this point in my life. I feel strongly about that. I'm not loose anymore. I'm not, way too many women as a teenager just seem to want a notch in their belt and get a piece of me. And I feel kind of used, and it didn't help. And that carried over into my marriage and loose morals and all this when it came to sex and promiscuity. So I am done with that, man. I had an idea recently. I was thinking about my eyesight, and I got one eye. This one I can see crystal clear out of, but this one is blurry, like you got a layer of mucus on it. It's probably an astigmatism. I don't know, maybe cataracts forming. These things happen as you get older sometimes. But it made me think of the value of having two eyes, because I've noticed my depth perception is off. And then I was thinking about, state-of-the-art camera lenses and all that. I wonder if there's any camera lenses where, it's just mimic the eyesight, because God generally made all the creatures to have two eyes, right? And it has to do with depth perception. God's really smart. Okay, that's one thing he is stupid. So I'm just thinking, I'm an innovator and I'm a thinker. And I'm just thinking, wow, get somebody on board here with this idea of building a state-of-the-art camera that's got two identical lenses, right? Because our eyeballs are basically identical. You'll hear people say, well, I got 20/20 vision in this eye and 20/15 in this eye. And actually it is better. So maybe with a little slightly different focus in one of the lenses, it's going to give you that greater depth perception. I think I'm on to something here, my friend. So I don't worry about people stealing my ideas, because you know what? Let's get them out there. One of my favorite ideas was, a lot of people from my generation, they don't have GPS in their car. They find it annoying, a little machine talking to them. Hey, turn left at the next, light. It discombobulates you. What I want, if I'm driving around in a suburban area and these street signs, you can't read them. I mean, maybe when you're younger, you say, oh, it's easier to read when it's dark, right? You can see better when it's a little dark out. But when you get older, it's harder and harder. And I have a flashlight that I can actually shine on the street light. I can't look at maps, are too hard to see too. And you're trying to drive a car, you pull over, you got to get a magnifier out and a flashlight, look at the map of where am I and relative. So one of my favorite ideas was to mount little like solar powered lights on top to illuminate, because they try to put like reflective tape on these things, but it all wears off in short order. You can't read it. The headlights don't focus on because the street sign is here and your headlights are here. So you know what I'm saying? It's just really hard to see. It would be a lot easier. A lot less people would be frustrated, stressed out, and lost on streets that are unfamiliar with. So it'd be nice to have that. Right? We're always trying to improve things, and it's public safety too. So what I want to see is lights on all the street signs. No big deal. They're always looking at ways to spend money to make stuff better. So to me, that's a good one. And a great business opportunity. Could you imagine every street on the planet? Everybody wants it on all the street signs. I mean, that's a hell of a, if you made 1 penny per, because it was your idea on every light, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out you're going to be a very wealthy individual. So I guess it wouldn't hurt for me to ask a girl out that's not Lauren, but yeah, I might be enjoyable, just to wet the whistle a little, just to take her out for coffee or beer, wine, dinner, something, some woman. But in her 20s, oh man. I mean, there's nothing immoral about it, and there's certainly nothing illegal about it, but it's a big age disparity. And, you'd think of the flack you'd catch from all these people that tell you, oh, no, it's not age appropriate that, a 61-year-old man is dating a woman in her 20s. But, it's not immoral. It's not, there's nothing in the Bible that says there's anything wrong with that. But yet, and there's nothing illegal, but the consternation from small-minded people that say, "Oh, but what?" I mean, they got nothing, but you see, always project that crap, judging, right? It's like, and it has no basis in reality. It's illogical, but right, still, facing that social awkwardness, that consternation that people project, could be, because they vibe you, right? You don't come out and say it, but you know what they're thinking. You know what they're thinking because you're a people. People think a lot of the same stuff. So, and for a large-minded person to figure out a small-minded person is not difficult. It's like falling off a log. You kind of what people are thinking. So, but I shouldn't worry about that. I mean, hey, if she's okay with it, I should be okay with it. It's not, like I said, I'm not going to try to take advantage of her. I don't want to get laid. I'm certainly not going to violate her. She wants to spend the night together naked. I can handle it. I'm not a rapist. I miss that. I really do miss snuggling, man. That's all I mean, it's puppy love. All I want some touch, man. I want some affection, and I want to give it. And it has nothing to do with sex. Maybe a little, I don't know, but I'm not going, like I said, I've got to want to marry the woman. So, and there's only one woman I got my eye on for doing that. And I'm going to be patient because I know she's got stuff going on in her life. And, say hi to Joe for me, would you, Lauren? He's a really nice guy. I really love your brother. I like him. And I'm honored to get to meet him. And I hope that he heals up. And I told him what I could, but he's got to do his own research. But don't listen to just what the doctors tell him. I mean, the experts don't know everything. They told my dad he'd be dead in 5 years with multiple sclerosis when he was in his 30s. He lived to be 86. He got into nutrition, health. He learned about the body, that it's a machine. So I told Joe, I mean, cayenne pepper, apple cider vinegar, oil of oregano, greens, a lot of fresh, clean water, and fasting and prayer. And just remember, the body's a machine. And, just limit your junk food to be, as little as possible, and just concentrate on healing, internal healing. And you can do that with diet. It's just like your car. You got clogged fuel injectors. Sure, the shop will be happy to change them out and charge you a couple $1,000. Or you could go get a can of Chem Tool and pour it in your gas, and then it fixes itself internally. It just cleans slowly. It cleans the gunk and goo and resin off the fuel injectors, because the gas stations sell bad gas, and in turn the auto manufacturers manufacture gas guzzlers. You understand? They scratch each other's back. It sounds cynical, and perhaps it is, but I know this stuff goes on all the time. Just look into disruptive technology. What does it disrupt? Profits. Yeah, the oil company doesn't want to hear about, engines that run on water. They don't want to hear this crap. So look up Stanley Meyer and his water car, and you'll see what I mean. He was assassinated because of his water car, is what most people believe. It's serious business, man, meddling with the profits of, and then, you and I are getting framed for, driving our cars and heating and cooling our houses and taking a vacation because you're burning CO2, but yet we're not going to even discuss disruptive technology. Totally unfair. It's the world I live on. It's just rife with madness.